The information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
could manipulate and dictate the decision of who should take your place. And because you were the top dog, you move like an overlord. You find when you tell them jump, they should have asked how high. You set out to sway the vote, offer up a young scapegoat to just get a couple sweat after you say bye-bye. You delay party convention, play with party constitution, and figure you could have gerrymander the outcome. But you F-A-F-O, you F-A, and then you F.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening to those of you locked on to Constructive Talk. Wherever you are in the world and you're listening to me, let me say thank you very, very much for being a part of the program this evening. Let me apologize. I was on an important phone call. Very important phone call. Constructive Talk is reaching places. I got a phone call a while ago from a radio station in New York. So I was just talking with the owner of the radio station, and he wants to broadcast Constructive Talk on their radio station in the States. So we may not just only be on it mightn't just only be on YouTube, but we also going to be on a radio station in New York. So again, I want to thank especially the persons who would be pushing the program out there and telling people about the program and getting people to be aware of the program. I want to thank every one of you for doing that, because what you all are doing is informing people and telling people, hey, Constructive Talk is a program in Trinidad and Tobago that really inform, educate, and give people the right information and generate a proper discussion on things that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago. So again, let me say thank you to all of you who continue to promote, push, and expose people to the program. You know what I mean? I really do appreciate it a whole lot. I must publicly say thank you to all of you. You know, people who meet me on the street from time to time, there are people who meet me on the streets and they say, hey, Pastor Google, continue doing a good job that you're doing. We listen, we are listening, and they tell me where they listen to me from. And if they don't listen, is a family member who listening. If the family member not listening, is a neighbor who listening. You know, that kind of thing. So I genuinely want to say thank you to all of you who from time to time do share the link, and you do get people on the program and get them to, appreciate what we do here. And I say we because Constructive Talk will be nothing without you calling in and giving your view, giving your perspective on how you see things going. You know, sometimes it's very disheartening and it's very hard, because let me tell you why. At times it's very disheartening and it's very hard. You know, when you listen to how the excuse, and you hear, I was listening to a program, and you hear how people they're so selfish. Right? They're so selfish that all they think about is their self. They think about the self. They think about how it can profit them. And I listened to a man glad that they shut down Milat, because to him, he said, here his reasoning for it. His reasoning for it is that, hey, I have a program. I have a program that the government could use now. Right? That's his reasoning. Is that, hey, I have a program that the government could use now, and he's on the government radio station and he push and promotes his stuff. But it's just amazing how we reach where we reach as a nation. So this evening, I'm going to have on the program with me a young man who is a product of Milat. Right? He excelled in the Milat program, excelled really, really well in the Milat program. And, okay. Hello, good evening.
Pastor Google?
Yes?
I don't know, but something, I don't know. I'm trying to understand what station I'm on because the other day I was, when I called in and I said,
all right, so what you're seeing in front of you right now, because I have to call the young man from Milat.
I don't know. I'm trying to understand because I ain't getting you.
No, what you're seeing, never asking you what you're seeing now.
I seen you thanking people for being on the station and that kind of thing. But
Yeah, that's the program.
And that's my issue because I don't know what is really going on, but all right, I'm going off and trying to see if I can find you.
I don't understand why you're saying it, but you just said that you what you're seeing me in.
I'm not finding you, and I'm going to try and find you.
Okay, no, just now. Are you seeing me in a white shirt?
Yeah, in a white shirt, but Pokemon radio station and all kind of things.
Yeah, that is the program.
I don't know. Because remember, there's a lapse when I call in. There's a lapse. There's a little lapse.
So you're not hearing yourself talking to me right now?
No, I'm not hearing you.
All you have to do is refresh the page. That's all you have to do.
But I'm not finding you. Hold on. Okay, I have you. Okay, I have you. Thank you very much. Take care.
Let them know that is the call. Some say the code is this. US of A. Look how them in disarray because they forget the first Osama madness. So with the short-term memory, they welcome back Donald T to give that fascist a second term in office. But after they take the bait and they realize where's the fate, enough of them want to change the vote, but it is too late. You see the FA, FO, you see the FA, now they go FO. Plenty immigrants made their choice. Uncle Donald they supporting, but he put their support on ice and themselves he start deporting. FA, FO, I said the FA, now they go FO. But now Donald breaks in because it now so keen. He name in the Epstein files, so they now studying like they're voting. Our president shall be the file. FA, FO, I said the FA, now they go FO. You see when you're ever wrong, there's no doubt. Even Uncle Sam will find out that what's our in bam bam starts sweet in the mouth. When you shout FA, FO, tell you that is, tell them that is the call. Oh, say, can you see? You see the call?
All right, so I I hope that the caller did get through. Well, he said that he got through, so I am just hoping that, other persons get through, because I don't know what's going on. People are saying that they're not getting onto the program. The caller said he's not sure about the program. So again, I hope that people are getting onto the program. All right. I don't know what's happening. But again, I want to say thank you. I am saying thank you to the persons who would have shared the program with persons outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and I was seeing about a radio station, in New York that reached out to me, and they are willing and they want to broadcast Constructive Talk on the channel in New York. So again, I want to thank persons for letting persons know about the program and stuff like that. So again, I was taking the time to thank persons for sharing Constructive Talk with persons outside, and having the confidence to believe that the program is good enough to be broadcast on a radio station in New York. That is why that is what I was doing, really just thanking people for sharing the information and sharing the podcast with persons outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So I have a guest that I am going to be having on the program this evening, and I really want persons to listen, and you can call in, and you would be able to interact with the individual. But I want to first say to you, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to just play back for you that what we're seeing here is nothing new. Sorry, what you're seeing here, what you're hearing here is nothing new with what is being said to us about these programs and why these programs have been, or some of these programs are being stopped in Trinidad and Tobago. All right? This is not a new thing. This is not a new thing. And for those of you who don't know, the minister said, he said it in the parliament. He said it in the parliament. All right? So take a listen to this.
Defense Minister Wayne Stage tonight confirms that the military-led academic training program has been temporarily suspended. This after serious concerns were raised today that the social intervention initiative is to be scrapped.
Well, moments ago, Stage told CNC3 News that while the program has not been shut down, it is temporarily suspended for financial reasons. Stage said his ministry is in ongoing discussions with the Defense Force Reserves and the Ministry of Education to restructure the program as it is no longer economically viable. CNC3 News was informed earlier that teachers attached to the Milat program were verbally told that yesterday their 3-month contracts will not be renewed. Furthermore, a former technical advisor said he was informed that more than 100 Level 1 trainees who are preparing to sit their CSEC exams have been sent home. The advisor raised concerns that many of the young men will be forced back into the environment and circumstances that led them to seek refuge in Milat in the first place. Meanwhile, Foster Cummings, who once oversaw the program, is pleading with the government to not shut it down, as he said it was a long-term solution to the root causes of crime.
We know that particularly in some of these urban areas, a lot of the young men who fall in the category of NEET, they're not employed, they're not in any formal education or training program, left idle in communities, become easy targets for recruitment by gangs and people involved in criminal activity. And therefore programs such as Milat is to assist them to take them out of that situation as a residential program, train them and equip them so that they can enter the place of work.
But Minister Sturge said it is his hope to restructure the program in the shortest possible time to facilitate the remaining Form 4 cohort.
The minister said the narrative that the closure will lead to an increase in crime is a trademark PNM scare tactic. Sturge said the program has been in place for some time now and the murder rate has not decreased.
Thing is, we have inherited the mass and morass of what you've done for the last 10 years. So we are seeking to fix it. And fixing it is not doing the same old thing that you all were doing, right? Fixing it is not continuing with a Ministry of Youth Development that you talk so much about, but what you didn't talk about is the fact that it was an abject failure. Who did it benefit? Who did it benefit? And you see, last week you made the point that all of these programs benefited the youth and would have led to a reduction in crime, when the reality was you had all these programs and crime just kept going up and up and up. So how all of a sudden when we disband it, crime going on by 42%. It's because what you were doing simply did not work. You want to disturb me when I answer you, just complain. The thing is, we have inherited the mass and morass of what you've done for the last 10 years. So we are seeking to fix it. And fixing it is not doing the same old thing that you all were doing, right? Fixing it is not continuing with a Ministry of Youth Development that you talk so much about, but what you didn't talk about is the fact that it was an abject failure. Who did it benefit? Who did it benefit? And you see, last week you made the point that all of these programs benefited the youth and would have led to a reduction in crime, when the reality was you had all these programs and crime just kept going up and up and up. So how all of a sudden when we disband it, crime going on by 42%? It's because what you were doing simply did not work. You want to disturb me when I answer you, just complain.
You all heard that, right? You all heard what the minister said. But then the minister is saying that they're going to restructure the program. But you just don't play the program. You just don't play the program, you know. But you're saying that they're going to restructure the programs. Really? We really have to believe you? Eh? We really supposed to believe you? Well, leave me alone now. So I'm going to get the young man on the program for him to share with you, Trinidad and Tobago. For him to share with you, Trinidad and Tobago, his experience in being a part of the program and how did it benefit him as a young man? Did it benefit him, or if it did not benefit him, and if he thinks that it's a good thing, if he believes that they need to restructure the program, that is what we're going to talk to him about, and so I'm going to get him on the line. So those of you who are on Constructive Talk, you can share the live and get persons to be a part of this evening's program. So I believe I have the young man on the line. Hello, good evening, sir.
Listen, good evening to all.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. And yourself?
Well, I glad to have you on the program, you know. The program this evening is about you.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I have this young man with me this evening. His name is Ethan Grant. And Mr. Grant, I want you to share with Trinidad and Tobago your experience in being a part of the Milat program. I want you to, first of all, I really want you to share your experience. What made you be a part? What made you want join the Milat program and stuff like that? So we're gonna start the interview in a short. So you just hold right there. Let's just make sure that we are connected. We have persons just now. Let's make sure that we are connected. Are we connected? Let's make sure. Yeah, man. Yeah. We are connected. Cool. So that's I wanted to make sure. There's a certain connection I wanted to make sure that we had. Right. So good evening to those of you locked on again to Constructive Talk. This is the program where we discuss current affairs, issues, and things that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago and by extension the world. Let me say good evening to my UK listeners. Let me say good evening to my people who are listening in America. And most of all, our UK listeners, thank you all very, very much for locking us down and logging into Constructive Talk this evening. This evening I have with me, well, I played for you a while ago, a clip from the news, CNC3 News, where we found out yesterday that the Milat program is it's being restructured, as the minister would have put it. He said it's not economically viable. It's not economically viable and it is being restructured. When somebody tell me something is not economically viable, like how Nestle's say that they're looking to pack up shop because it's not economically viable, that tells me two or three things. Either you're going to have people pay to do the program, or you're going to take in less persons that you would have normally take in to do the program. But this evening, I have a young man with me who was a part of the Milat program, and I asked him to join me this evening because there's so much. Just hold 1 minute, please. Let's see what's happening here. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Pastor Google, before you speak to the gentleman, you hear me?
Yeah.
I know you have him on, but I want to say this before you talk to him, before you talk to the gentleman, before you speak to him. This program, this Milat program, there was a gentleman who came on television called Kobe. And I hope the gentleman who you have on is listening. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, but Brian, go ahead.
I want to say this before he comes on, because I don't want to, I want to say this. What is happening with Milat is because they are destroying the young people of Trinidad.
But before you go there, Brian, I think you should have let's just, because this young man who I have on here just now, I had to stop here, because this young man wasn't just a participator of the program. He was one of the young men, or I think it might be the only young man who would have was one of the Ethan, what exactly did you achieve at the program again? Because I know that you had a red band on your hand, and the Minister of National Security back then, who was Mr. Fitzgerald Hines, would have what exactly did you achieve?
So at the ending of the program, the Milat program, I would have achieved the last rank of retaining the last rank of cohort leader, which is the last senior rank. I was in charge of 150 men under my care, as well as I would have left the program as the appointed parade commander for the Milat intake 2201.
So that's why, Brian, I would have really wanted you to hear this young man.
All right. Okay, listen. I apologize. I humbly apologize, and I will listen off air. I will listen. But I need to come in eventually. Because, you see, this hurting me. And I want to be honest with the gentleman. I will be honest with you, Pastor Google. And I will come in eventually and talk about this. Because you see this is serious for me. And I humbly apologize, sir, young man. I humbly apologize. But I will come back in and talk about these things that I feel and I know. Because you see, this is important. You see, this my lap important. And sir, I humbly apologize. You give your narrative. And I will come back in eventually and speak about it. Because for this, sir, it's important to me. And I will not leave it there. So I will come off the program and let you speak, sir. And then eventually I will come back on. I thank you very much, Pastor Google, and I humbly apologize.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, Ethan, sorry about that.
No problem at all.
All right, so I thought that something was wrong with the audio, or something was wrong with the video, or something like that. All right, so I don't even know how to, all right, so we have this young man on, who was a part of the Milat program. So Ethan, just tell us what made you wanted to be a part of that Milat program.
Well, firstly, I know that there's a stigma that goes by the program that says that the program is mostly designed for troubled youths. So I'll start by saying I have no problems at home. I had no problems in the community in which I was raised.
All right.
What made me join the Milat program would have been where I would have made the decision after I completed my 5 years at Belmont Secondary School. After leaving school, I would have obtained only 3 passes, which I was not proud of at the time. In doing my own research, I realized that, hey, why not comprise the 2 things that I love the most, which is the military and getting my education? I would also start by saying what I would have did my personal research as to the subjects that would have been done in the program and how would it benefit me in the long run, because I understand that I'm not just joining the program to say that, hey, I'm another number attached to the program, but I'm joining the program to be one of the successors, to be something out here, and to make a future for myself.
Right. And that is something that I want people to take away. One of the things I want persons to take away from the interview this evening is that you were not one of the what they will call these statistics. You would have made up in your mind that here what you are part of cadets while growing up, and so you were always militant in thinking, in the sense that so Milat would have been a part of your how to put it, continuous militant training experience. And also you recognize that, hey, I can do my subjects, I can get my passes while being focused while having this experience. So you when you told your dad, no, I know your dad personally. When you told your
Yes, I do.
dad, when you told your dad that you wanted to be a part of Milat, what did he say to you?
No, because of the stigma that was going around at the point in time, my parents, they are always supporting me in what I have to do.
Right.
But because of the stigma at the point in time, they were a bit concerned as to, hey, son, you don't give trouble, you don't do any of the stuff that people say. Again, as I quote, as people say that the program do. And I was like, no, it's not that. What I want to do is join this program and be a change. And there's where he would have given the support and said, you know what, son, that's what you want to do. We would pray and we would go forward with it.
Right. Right. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Very good. I hear you. So now that you decided, okay, this is what I want to do. I've got the support of my family. I've got support of my brother, my sister. Now that you're enrolled and you're in the program, were there any surprises that you would have said and say, hey, I don't think I don't think this is what I signed up for.
Surprises in that consensus, I'd say no. But surprises in like the way that the program is actually more than what the outside will know about the program, I'd say yes. Because watching the program from on the outside, you will think it's just basically military training, nothing to base it on life, which I believe I speak for my entire intake as well as the entire Milat program when I say that the Milat program don't just teach education or just military skills. It teaches us life skills. As young men, it prepares because as I would make mention, those that are a part of the program, some people may not come from good households such as myself, or some people may not come from any particular household at any point in time, saying that some of them may have been sent from courts. They would have made wrong decisions growing up and they would have been given the second opportunity. And the reason why at any point in time I'm given to speak about Milat or to mention Milat name, I would always say it's not a program for at-risk youths, but it's in fact a program for second chances, because some people may not always have the finance, may not always have the ability to go elsewhere and do any education. And as we see the way the world is now, we need education.
Yes.
We need our education to get through it. Anything, not just education, but experience.
Right.
Right? However, the program is designed in such a way where teachers work above and beyond. The same set teachers that was listed, taken off their contract. They work above and beyond the average teacher out there. And I can testify to that. I'd even give an example as to where I would have done human and social biology inside of the Milat program.
Right.
In doing the subject, I did not see myself passing at no point in time.
Why?
Because I was not getting
why?
any.
Why you didn't see yourself passing at any point in time?
Because the knowledge, the subject itself was just challenging for me.
Right.
The teacher was going above and beyond. And when I told this particular teacher, Miss, I drop in the subject, I ain't seen it happening. This teacher would have gone above and beyond her natural self in terms of where normal teachers may say, hey, I ain't sitting in my classroom for you. Lunchtime, break time, whether or not Milat has school or not, she was coming, she was calling for all different students who need the help. And today I can proudly stand and say, I don't hold a 4, 5, or 3 in human and social biology, but I hold a 2 with all grade A's in profile for human and social biology because of that particular teacher and because of the program.
Wow. Wow. But tell me, the students, the intake, the students and the students and the who came into Milat, there are some of them who would have had challenges. How did the program help the students to deal with their challenges. So
If you're
some of them,
speaking
so
into-
so let me explain what I mean by challenges. So there are some of them might come in with anger management problems. They don't know how to deal with their anger. There are some of them they have emotional issues. There are some of them they may have self-esteem problems. How did the program balance all the scale? How did they get them to realize and recognize that hey, they can be who they were born to be?
What the program would have put in place would have been a social work department, and apart from that, there would have been instructors that would have been certified in different types of counseling.
Okay.
So, as you said, those who would have had anger management, there were certain instructors that would meet with them on a daily, would speak to them, teach them this is not the way to go about, and they will do certain sessions that would have then helped them de-escalate themselves in a sense of knowing that hey, this is not the way to be. This is how I need to change if I need to be a part of something great, if I need to be a part or be a part of life on the whole. Those that would have had emotional issues, social work department was always open to any, not even just Milat cadets, but even the staff, if they needed to talk. Because no matter how good we may seem, we always need that extra advice, that extra push. So each instructor, each member played a part in helping those facing those challenges, even where sometimes our own peers would have helped in terms of there would have been young men who would have understand that, hey, I might be better in this area of life, so let me help speak to this one because you know what? 3 years is a long time.
Right.
This is not my brother. We are living here together, and I don't want to leave him behind.
Okay.
So I will say the program would have designed it in such a way where first the social work department would have dealt with all these challenges. Then it would have been led to the instructors that we practically lived with. And then it would have gone to the barracks room where the peers would have come as one. Hey, let me talk. Let's reason as this. Let's talk as brothers. Let's talk as young men.
Wow. Wow. So you all were there for one another.
That is how we were trained, and that is the momentum we kept even after the program. Till this day, we don't pass each other straight. There's not an intake and say that they pass a batch member straight. Or they don't stop and say, hey, batch, even if we forget your name, all we remember, hey, you was in 2201, you was in 2101. Hey, batch, that's all we remember.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, you're saying that, and what going to my mind is that I am sure, well, I'm not so sure, but I often wonder. So let me say there are the gangs that call themselves different numbers, and a young man from another number coming into the group, as a batch. How do they settle their differences?
You see, in the program, at the early stage of the program,
Yeah.
they make it clear. They make sure it is embedded that, hey, these numbers don't exist when you cross these gates at Mausaka. Yes, in the barracks room, they might still try to have their talk and they might still try to shushu and say, hey, I repping this number, I repping that number. But you see, because the way the instructors deal with each cadet individually, as time goes by, these numbers begin to fade out because we begin to realize, hey, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is just a number. It's just for a time. And I need to know, okay, to change, I need this change because I did not just join the program to just, all right, leave the program and go back to the 6, 7, 8, 9. But I'm leaving the program to say, hey, you know what? Let's change the stigma of good things could come from what is stereotyped as ghetto areas or areas to be afraid of.
Right. And those young men, when they leave the program, some of them they go back and try their best to inform and assist their fellow to put it, persons in the community, hey, dying go work, that lifestyle is nice. That lifestyle is nice. But coming back to your experience. So you would have shared with us that academically there are persons there to motivate and discipline you to believe that you can do what you think in your mind you cannot do. There's also you shared with us that there's the camaraderie among each other. What at what point in time in the program was there any point in time in the program that you felt as though, here what, I can't do this, I want to come out of this program?
I am glad you asked this question so I can let all the listeners know that my journey wasn't always a bed of roses within the program.
Tell me.
There were times where firstly, I would say the first time I felt so would have been when I was away from my family. I felt like this program is not for me. I go pay for my subjects, I need to be around my family. After manning up and getting over that feeling, I would have felt so again when we are only human, where doubts will slip into our mind. Where we may doubt ourselves, hey, I could really make it through here, I could really do this. And I would have felt like, you know what, Ethan boy, let's give up on it. I just give up on it.
Wow.
And because of God, yes, and because of prayer, but also because of instructors that, had that motivation side of them. It's like the minute I begin to think so, they were always right there to say, Grant, we needed to keep pushing. We needed to keep pushing. You didn't join here to give up. Keep pushing. Yeah, and they would always ask the question, and this question kept me through my 3 years of my life. They would always ask the question, why did you join the program? And the minute they gave the answer, because of this, because of that, they would say, well, here what? Hold on to that and keep running the race. We are here to support. Yes, we may be hard at times, but we are here to support.
So
that would have kept me through the program.
Wow, the support of the instructors. The support of the instructors.
But teachers, even civilian staff was giving you that support.
Serious?
Civilian staff was always, they believed the minute you signed and you said, hey, I'm a part of this program, they believed and motivated, no matter what your academics would have looked like for the first 3 terms. They believe, hey, this young man will come out something.
Wow. That's what you're talking about, man. So apart from the military team, the civilians also saw where the young people in this program will be and will become something great. That's real good, man. That is really, 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 really good. And I'm happy that you are on this evening. If you're now joining us and you want to know who is this young man that I'm talking to, this is one of the young men who excelled tremendously in the Milat program. And I know him personally. And I said to myself, yeah, what, I want to get him. And Ethan, be honest, this we have been talking about doing this interview for a while now, right?
A good while.
and I always used to tease him and tell him, I say, hey, you know they're going to stop the Milat. And he used to say to me, nah, they won't do that. That program too good for them to stop. And lo and behold, look what has happened. Look what has happened. So if you're now joining us, I'm talking to Mr. Ethan Grant, a young man who excelled in the Milat program. And this evening, he is on sharing with us his experience of being a part of the program and what the program has done for him. So tell us, Ethan, give us some of the things, life skills that you have learned from, or that you have mastered, or you will that will stay with you for life from the Milat program?
Some of the life skills that would have stayed with me, and not just myself, but I can speak. And you'll find I'm saying it a lot, but this is what would have been said in the program. But I can speak for my intake, my batch, those even before and after myself. Some of the life skills we would have learned would have been stuff such as like time management, money management.
Wow. Wait. Don't just call it out. Don't just call it out. Explain to us, what did they teach you about time management?
So, okay, there is something called PT where it is called physical training, but it also, every morning it has physical training every morning. That is where you do push-ups, jumping jacks, running, you name it, you're doing it. But you also have school that morning. Yes, to answer the question for front, some people may ask, wouldn't they be sleepy in school? That is where the time management comes in.
Right.
Approximately at 9 p.m. every night, there is something called lights out, unless there is an event that is happening or about to happen that would exceed the cadets to stay past that time.
Okay.
And it would have given you that time management in a sense of where, okay, you know that by 4:30 in the morning you have to get up to do PT, but you also have school for 7:30. So you now need to manage your time as to how am I going to get myself ready in terms of packing my bag, getting my clothes ready. Now, yes, many people, these may be traits that should be taught at home.
Yeah.
But because of the program, it would have been mastered. Because, sometimes when you're in your comfort zone or you're at home, you would say, no, I home and 5 minutes again. But because these instructors make sure that this time frame is followed every day, it became a part of you to the point where you may be at your own comfort space, and be like, okay, at 6 o'clock, because still this day I'm still doing that. At 6 o'clock, I must go and do this. At 7 o'clock, this must happen, and I must finish within 15 minutes.
Right.
And it's stayed a part of me, and I can speak for everyone else when I say it became a part of us, and we have never departed from it.
Beautiful. So time management. I hope people hearing what are some of the skills that the young men would have learned in the Milat program that will stick with them. So time management is one. What's the other one?
I would say it would have helped us build confidence as well. Those who may have had low self-esteem, those who would have been not sure of, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? Because for me, I'd share my story where I would have built confidence. There was a particular instructor by the arm that was in charge of my cohort. Now, I was one way, shirt always in pants, always stiff. That's just me. But because of him, he would have taught me, Grant, you need to find balance in life. There's moments when it's required for you to be Mr. Serious G.I. Joe. And there's moments where you would need to laugh and learn to enjoy life sometimes. And I always had this mind for creating routines, creating different march past stuff. And it's like I would never put myself out there because I would always have that low self-esteem. Somebody might laugh at me. It mightn't be good. And the minute I expressed that to him, because he was a big counselor in the program, I would call him a counselor despite he was an instructor. And he would have said, you know what, Grant, sports are coming up. You making the team routine. And I'm there like, how am I going to do this? I don't even have the motivation. I remember the night when he called us out. He sat there a whole hour waiting for me to begin. And all he's saying, Grant, I'm not doing anything, Grant. More than giving you the motivation, you keep going. You keep going. And because of that today, I can say I've made routines for different areas in Trinidad, different schools, different teams, because I would have built that confidence in myself to know, hey, I was just sleeping on myself all along. But I actually have the gift to make these type of routines. Till this day, I'm still making routines for different match pass. Even in the last match pass season, I would have went this year around Easter time. I would have been contacted. I would have made routines. And I would feel proud to know that, hey, This all began at the Milat program.
Wow. I hope Trinidad and Tobago listening to this, boy. I really hope Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension the world, people listening to what this young man is saying, that this program would have, what are some of the things that he has, gotten from this program? What is the other one?
There's a lot to be listed, but I would touch on one that was most important to most of us, which would have been money management.
Okay.
In a sense of, in the program, a stipend is given.
Right.
However, the reason for the stipend being given, as I said before, not all of us may come from good homes or a home at all. And yes, there are different essential items like toiletries that you would need within the program. There would be different timings you might want to get more jerseys for yourself.
Yeah.
And there would be instructors that would sit and they would say, here what, the stipend is this amount of dollars. So here what you would do, put this into saving. As a man, the first thing as a man you want to do is get a car. You don't want to be traveling.
Yeah.
So I can even testify on behalf of some of my batch that over 5 of us would have purchased our first vehicle after leaving the Milat program because of the lessons of saving we would have learned.
What?
And it would not have been because we found a job that paying us X amount of dollars. It's because of these same set instructors, we would have known, okay, every time I get my stipend at the end of the month, I need to run and buy KFC. I need to run and buy Rockcastle because I'm being fed in this program. What I need to do, put X amount of dollars towards saving, X amount of dollars towards doing a degree, where some of us are currently pursuing a degree.
Okay.
And these are things that is not recognized by the public or not seen by the public because it's not given the much attention that it deserves.
Wow. And you are right, because I did not know that. I didn't know that. Wow. That is interesting. Trinidad and Tobago, I hope all are listening, Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the world. A program of this caliber, a program of this worth has been stopped. Wow. Wow. So Eternal Minister is saying, and and I'm not going to implicate you in any way. I just want you to just, as a past person, person from the program, the minister is saying that the program isn't viable. He's also saying that financially the program it's just too much on the state right now, and he's planning to restructure the program. If you have to give him any advice on restructuring the program, what is one of the things that you would advise him to do?
Before giving my advice, for those that are listening, I would start by saying, when I do give my advice, I mean it in no disrespect to our government, neither the minister. I'd start by saying that firstly. However, if I'm to give advice on restructuring the program, I would say to restructure it in such a way where it can intake more young men. Not even just young men, but there are young ladies that are going through the same set thing. So I would even say restructure it in a way where after the program, there is much more for us to offer, much more for the program to offer in terms of, okay, the program is doing their part of securing us with a second chance, securing us with a future. But there is not much put in place for when we do graduate from the program by any government that is in power.
Okay.
So I would say in restructuring of the program, let's look or focus at adding and the aftermath of the program.
Right.
Because we can't just focus on the young men of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's focus on, okay, what is there for the young ladies to grasp on that go through these same set problems, whether it be they are coming from court, whether it be they are coming from any issues at home. Because if I may go off topic for a while, most of the candidates that would have joined Milat may have joined because of issues at home.
Right.
So that is why I would say, for me, my advice to the minister is let's look at what can be done after these programs. Okay, I spent 3 years in Milat. I have succeeded. I have done all that can be. What can be put in place where I can then know, okay, this is what I'm going on to next, and then I can branch off into what I actually want to do. And for those who might think it's the military I'm referring to, I am not. Because not every cadre that joins the Milat program wants to be a part of the military. In my batch, there were people who aspired to be mechanics, doctors, lawyers, even teachers. So what can we offer again? Whether it be a bridge, a gap into OJT, whether it be a gap into, okay, let's see what these young men want at the end of these 3 years, and let's see how best we can facilitate it. No, I'm not saying give us handouts, because while we are doing our training inside there are much more people that, on the outside doing their training as well. But what am I saying is, okay, we are talking about restructuring, we are talking about changing, making changes in the program. Let's see how these changes can benefit not just the future of the young men, but the future of our nation.
Interesting. I'm glad that you would have shared that, because I was talking to a father of one of his son would have been passed through Milat, and he said to me, he was saying to me that he thinks that they should make the entry requirements for the army, the military, for persons coming out of Milat much easier, because of the training that they would have gone through and the things that they would have done within the program to prepare them for even that military style life. So he was saying that to me. What day was that? Wednesday. Yeah, he was telling me that on Wednesday. But I'm glad that you were seeing that. Hey, this is much bigger than somebody being wanting a opportunity in military life, but to open up doors in other areas. Because as you rightfully said, that there are persons who would like to be a part of different spheres of the workplace. So, I hear you. Milat, your success in Milat. Tell me what would have how or what propelled you to be more recognized, if that is the right word I want to use, than others, in the sense that you would have listed earlier on some of your achievements at Milat. How did you manage to achieve those things?
All right, so firstly, I'll start by saying I will not use the word more recognized or recognize more than the rest, because we are all recognized equally. But what would have helped me or assist me in achieving what I would have achieved would have been the same set instructors that would have trained us on a daily basis, morning, noon, and night, Sunday to Sunday. They would have realized our skill sets. Some might be stronger in sports, some might be stronger in public debate, some might be stronger in different areas. And that is how they would have grouped us to know, okay, when this event comes up, I can send this particular person and get the job done, while I am training this next person to take this step further. While I'm doing this, to help this next person get that step further. It's not to say they would have shut the door on anybody to say, I'm not going to teach you how to debate. But for now, I'll set this person out alongside you so you can learn how to debate, how to do these things properly. So, for example, I'm currently a part of the National Youth Parliament Network. I would have been recognized for that, as you would have said, or I would have been sent forth for that, not just myself, but one of my batch as well. Because there were a night where it was a weekend, no school on the Saturday. And there was this particular instructor that said, you know what, we're going to have some public debates. And he would have sectioned us off in teams, because these debates was helping us build teamwork. And he would have spoken to us and he would have said, okay, this is the topic and this is what you all are debating on. And because we would have debated on different things, and he would have realized, okay, this particular person is strong, Grant is strong in this area. There is where the National Youth Parliament would have reached out to the program and said, here is what. We want to invite you all to send 2 candidates to be a part of this national youth debate. And I would have been sent forth to showcase, because on that night I would have showcased, wait now, Grant has his talent in youth debate, in debating on whole. And I was like, I was nervous. I would admit I was nervous. But because again of the program, giving the program its credits, I would have excelled in the youth debate to the point where I am still doing different debates, different public speaking around the country at this point in time.
Okay. Well, that says a lot. So you still go around doing your debates as a part of Milat, or you do it in a private capacity?
Well, because of the fact that I would have graduated the program in the year of 2024, I no longer carry the name Milat, but I make sure that it is recognized that I am a pillar from the program.
Oh.
In that way, I make it known that, hey, because of this program is why I stand here today. Besides God being before me, because of this program, I stand before you all today, able to do what I am doing.
Wow. So you talked about earlier on, you talked about the red. Well, I wanted you to explain the red band on your hand that you would have gotten at Milat. You want to go into depth into that for us?
Not a problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
So within the Milat program, there's 3 consecutive ranks. Those that might be familiar with the military might know it by different names. So I will give both the name that most persons familiar with the military might know, and I'll give the Milat terms for it. So when you join the Milat program, you start off as what in recruitment we'll call a recruit or a trainee. That is where we stay in and we do that part of the program. We train for 3 months. We reform our minds. Apart from that, you will then be assessed both academically and physically to see if you are fit enough to hold the rank of the team leader, which is 1 stripe. Right? In different terms, in cadet force terms, the military terms, you will hear them say 1 chevron, which is equivalent to a lance corporal. Then after a certain segment, a certain time of months, you will then be given those same set persons that would have achieved the rank of team leader, would have gone on to be assessed for the rank of syndicate leader, which most people may know by corporal. Again, you are assessed academically and you are assessed physically.
Okay.
But it's a bit different for the syndicate leader because they intensify the training in terms of where they teach you sea survival training. So in order to be a part of in order to obtain that rank, you must go through basic foot drill, the military training. Your academics must be at a certain average. So where they will come to the school principal that is at the Milat program and they would ask, let me see so-and-so exam results. And they would know, okay, this person academics is not looking good, so we need to work with them. And we just need to keep pushing them, but they can't obtain this rank because in order to lead, in other words, what they need is leaders that can help their peers as well. Not just in the military aspect, but academically.
Okay.
And there it would have been the last standing rank cohort leader, which most people may know by the name sergeant. To obtain the sergeant is more of an interview settings where you will sit and you will speak about what would have made you turn to the program, how the program has benefited you, in what way, and a lot more different things that they would ask. And you would sit before a panel comprised of the program director, Milat program director, and different board members of the program.
Right.
Yes, in the rank scale, there is seniority in terms of that is how they would have known put to appoint as parade commander, parade second in command, because while graduating, what the program tries to do is to show them that, hey, when these young men came in the program, they did not know how to do these same set things. But after the 3 years, they are able to graduate on their own. They are able to graduate without anybody behind a ball and say this, do this. It would have showed where we would have elevated from being boys to young men and future leaders of tomorrow.
Great. Wow. Well, this is great stuff, man. And I'm really glad that you are able to share your personal experience of being a member of being a part of the Milat program. Really, really glad. And there are persons who are really happy that you are sharing your information and giving us the facts about the program. Wow. So tell me, how do you feel now hearing that the program has stopped, and reasons why it has stopped, and what how do you feel about that?
To be honest, when I first saw the different images, the different memos going across social media, it made me feel hurt. And why? Some people may ask, why am I feeling hurt after I am one of the successes of the program? But it's because I did not just think for myself, but I thought for those that was under my charge that I would have left at the program, and even those I would have had the opportunity to interact with on different occasions. And the reason why it would have hurt me to that extent is because I know what the program would have done for myself and other young men that would have been a part of the program and had no one to turn to. Why I would have also felt hurt by hearing that the program, whether it be temporary or permanently, why I would have felt hurt is because some of these young men don't have anything to fall back onto. They don't have anywhere to turn to. And no, I am not saying for those that are listening that they are going to turn to crime. I am not saying that they are going to go to the block and find interest in taking a life. But what am I saying is, as the older folks tend to say, the future of our nation is in the backpacks of the youth. These young men would have left with the future in their backpacks to go back home to where some of them have nothing for them. And the question is now asked to anyone, what are they going to do now? They would have already sacrificed, they would have already made that effort to say, hey, I'm giving Milat these 3 years. I am trusting and hoping for a change. And because now this program was closed so abruptly, they are now left to fend for themselves because, okay, if I may ask a rhetorical question, for those that would have signed themselves up for the program, that would have been at the age of 18, and all they have is themselves, what is put in place to help them? What is designed to make sure that, hey, we have here? What is put in place? And that is why I would have felt hurt, because I'm not just thinking that, you know what, hey, I done pass out, I done successful already. I am working, I am continuing to climb the success ladder. But I'm studying, what about those that did not get the opportunities I had within the program? Because I always ask myself, and I always say, these same set young men that would have joined the program would have joined the program because of what they would have heard and what they would have seen. The difference that was showcasing on the media to say, hey, and they would have made the decision, because nobody is just going to sacrifice 3 years of their life just like that. No one is going to sacrifice it. The minute someone makes a decision to join the Milat program, it means that they are saying to themselves, hey, here is what. I am destined for change. And I see my change happening here. As you rightfully said at the beginning of the segment, I was once a part of the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force.
Right.
And cadets themselves played their vital role within my life. But however, most people may ask, what would have caused you to leave one military institute to go to the next? It's because I realized, to answer those who are wondering, I realized to myself as a young man today, sometimes we need to make that step. Every step that we take must make sense. And don't quote me wrong, I'm not saying cadets don't make sense. Cadets make a lot of sense, but for me, I realized that there was nothing I could not do with just 3 passes.
Right.
And I can proudly stand on this segment and say, today I'm not just the holder of just 3 passes with no certificates, but I'm the holder of 8 passes and 12 certificates that see me through that I would have only obtained through the Milat program.
Say that one more time for people who would have been closing the fridge door.
I can proudly say that I'm the holder of 8 CSEC passes with 12 certificates because of the Milat program. And for those that are maybe wondering, hey, it's just CSEC subjects, trust and believe that the Milat program partners with a lot of different organizations that help us build even CVQs. Because today, I don't just stand as a mechanical engineering student, I stand as a woodworking student. So I have both woodworking and mechanical engineering, not at a level 1, but at a level 2 state because of this program.
Trinidad and Tobago, the world only listening. Wow. Well, here now, you hot up the live here now. People on the live saying, oh gosh, boy. We were saying they're proud of you. Ah, boy. People on the lives loving it. They're loving it. They're loving what they're hearing. And people are applauding you. And people saying, well done. And wow. I'm lost for words because, you know, you're hearing how the minister is dismissing the program and is saying that they're going to restructure the program and you're wondering now, after hearing what you have said to us this evening, what can you restructure really but add on to, in the sense of, as you asked, that the young ladies be a part of the program, so structure a program that will be help the young ladies in society. And you also were pleading that, hey, within the program, after the program, there should be some sort of accommodation for people who have excelled, not just excelled, but who are looking for proper jobs and stuff like that. Hey, wow. I want to take some calls, Ethan. You ready to take some calls?
No problem at all. When you're ready.
All right, let's take some calls and interact with the people now. All right, so the number to call this evening is 464-7003, 464-7003, 464-7003. You can call in now and interact with Mr. Ethan Grant and hear his, what, well, you share with us, Trinidad and Tobago, what are your thoughts after hearing what the minister had to say? So this evening we're talking to Mr. Ethan Grant. All right, we're taking a little calls and then we're going to switch gears a little bit. All right, hello, good evening.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor.
Good evening, Good evening.
Good evening, Pastor, sorry. And good evening to the young one also. Pastor, I have enough more to say because everything I tell you about the program, the young man explained it in detail. I actually knew somebody the guys who was working with those young men. And that is why I told you the minister is out of touch with reality. You hear this young man? You hear everything he said? He is now a holder. He is now a holder of mechanical engineering, and he had 8 passes.
And he went in with 3.
He went 3. I know people went in, they didn't even go, they didn't finish Form 1. And they also left with passes within 3 years. So, I mean, so when this motherfucker bats over this program and say he going to close it down, I tell you, he is out of touch with reality.
All right. Let's take a next call.
Some space.
Thank you very much. Wow. 464-7003, 464-7003. If you're listening and you want to call in and interact with Mr. Ethan Grant, you can do so now. 464-7003. That is the number to call. And wow. So Ethan, if the opportunity comes your way to be a part of the military, would you join?
I would, because since I know myself, since I know to write my own name, it would have been a destiny, it would have been a goal, it would have been an ambition to be a part of the military. So once the opportunity arrives, I would definitely go with God first for any opportunity that arrives pertaining to the military.
All right. Hello, good evening, caller.
Pleasant good evening to you, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir.
Man, and all your viewers watching tonight. Just a couple of quick points. One, now, this young man is eloquently trained, professionally trained. And one quick question to you, Pastor Google. Are you still planning to have your Critical Thinkers program?
Of course.
Well, this young man needs to be one of your presenters.
Say it to him again. Say it to Ethan again. Tell him it. He ain't hear you.
Mr. Grant, you need to be one of the presenters on his Critical Thinkers program. And I say one of the presenters because Pastor Google needs to bring other young people in different areas of national development. You could be a key mentor in your field of training for young people, where he can have other young people in different areas, like in nursing, in electronics, in technology, and so forth, having discussions on topics geared towards national development in those particular areas. I foresee you being a key presenter for young people, especially at risk youth.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night, sir.
Thank you very much, caller. Hello, good evening. All right, you missed that call. Caller, you can call me back, 464-7003, 464-7003. If you want to be a first-time caller and all and talk to Ethan, you can do so. But at this time, we, entertain calls on the program. Again, I keep forgetting to put the code before 1868. All right, 1868 464-7003. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good night. My name is Kyle Douglas. I'm a past cadet of the Milat Academy as well, 1801. And everything that Grant mentioned is very clear and true. I would have left as a team leader here, which is the equivalent to a corporal,
right?
One shot. And even up to now, I have instructors are like fathers to me as well, up to this day.
Wow.
That we talk, and even in my business venture, I get advice from them up to this day, and I left a path cadet, I should say. I would have left with a full certificate as well, not knowing my ability to even attain one pass. And shocked my mom, shocked my whole family when I got my results. It was a deserving moment for me and my family, because my mom would have fought with me throughout primary school to secondary school. And she would have, at a point in time, she was like, I wonder if she could excel or do take any how to put it, have a feeling subject because it's like I'm not getting it, and this is the next thing too. They would work with you. They have teachers that will see your weak points and they will work with you. And I would always appreciate this academy. This is why I had to call tonight, because it is something that really bothered me when I saw it, because it has plenty this academy help my life. A lot of us I could talk about that. It had fellas that come in. I talking about the individuals. So when you see them now, you'll be shocked that it's the same individuals that came in the program from the start. They left with plenty with a full certificate. It had me emotional as well too, because of what this academy have done for me and others. So I just have to call in and share my experience with you all, as simple as it may be.
All right, thank you very much, caller. Thank you very, very much. So, could you WhatsApp the number when you come off? WhatsApp this number for me, please. All right. You see one of your how to put it?
You could use the terms batch.
One of your batch. Call in and endorse everything that you would have said tonight. That's interesting.
Because as I once said, we all share that similarity within the program, because even when he would have spoke about shocking his mom, it brings me back to when I would have opened my results. I remember flinging my phone in the kitchen sink in what we would have called at my time in Milat, the cohort leader's house. Because I would have went to the kitchen to open my results and not knowing what to expect. When I first looked for V, which stands for 5, I was like, okay, I have none. I then looked for IV. I said, okay, I have none. I then looked for III. And I realized, wait, I had none. And the minute I actually opened, to the point where I even doubted it was my results I opened.
Wow.
And I burst, as a man, I bursted in tears in that kitchen, to the point where I really do it, boy. I really do. Because I would have known the struggles and the different fights that I would have faced mentally, physically, and that the program would have helped me through to be that successful and to be this successful today.
Yeah, man. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Mr. Grant, as a successful graduate of the program, would you say that this program, if appended to the school in discipline matrix, it would assist in bringing down that level of indiscipline and give sense of direction to your younger peers in a much better way than the police in schools initiative 1? And my second question to you is, as part of the program, were you ever pressured, or you and your other colleagues ever pressured to be indoctrinated into saying, well, this is a PNM program only for Black people, or, it was anything political or politicized, or in any way forcing you young men to say, well, hey, this is the direction you want to go in? Or is it because of what you were exposed to, you all decided, those of your fellow graduates who would have decided to probably join the military, join some other form of national security? Was that ever an element of your journey in the program? And thanks for the opportunity, and I'm proud of you, young brother. And the sky is the limit. You have no holes on whatever success you can have in this life. Take care. Thanks for the opportunity, Pastor.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. To answer your questions, I'd answer your last question first. I would say proud with my chest held high that at no point in time were we ever pressured with it's a PNM program or if it's a race thing, or we were never pressured along up those lines at no point in time, right? The only thing we would have feel pressured for is when exams was coming around. They would have always motivated us and pushed us to study, but we would have never been pressured into any politics. We would have never been pressured into choosing a pick a side. We would have never been pressured into that. And to answer your first question, I agree with what you're saying in terms of that it may help in terms of dropping the statistics of the indiscipline within schools. But why I would say it goes longer than what we are just saying, like, okay, if you're indisciplined in school, you go to the program. Why I would say it goes longer than that is because everyone faces different challenges at home. And some people deal with different challenges differently. So someone that maybe has an attitude in school, it may just be one minor issue to fix. What I would suggest to anyone that may hold the powers to make that change would have been where you give them an insight of the program that may help or assist them in thinking as to, okay, I am currently still going secondary school. Let me calm down and let me focus. Because I know if I finish school, I want to go back these 3 years again. And as I said, 3 years is not easy giving up. Yes, it may be for a good cause, but at first it is not easy giving up. So what I would say, if someone finishes school or a parent realize that, hey, my son is not excelling well within school, I believe, yes, and I agree with you that the decision should be made to have that child come over to the program. Because as I said, the teachers at the program, the civilian staff at the program, the instructors, the serving members, they go above and beyond for us young men to ensure that we get what we join the program for.
I hear you. I saw some calls coming in just now, so I just want to give them that opportunity to call in before I give, before we end the interview. I know that there are some persons wanted to call in, so I'm giving them that opportunity now. 464-7003, 464-7003. You can call now and share your view. What are your thoughts about what you have heard about the Milat program? And you are hearing firsthand from a young man who was a part of the program. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
I just called back to make one point again. Regarding the recommendations on the restructuring, according to the minister and the government, if I were them in their quote-unquote, in inverted commas, restructuring, if they really want to restructure the program to make it even more viable, I would add part of the curriculum, financial literacy.
But he did say that they do that.
Well, do they do it in a way that they learn how to create and properly manage a business?
Well, he said that they well, I don't know about the business, but he talked about, I don't think that they do it for business, but they do it for, because he said that there are young men who left there with driving brand new vehicles. Some of them was able to save enough to do to go to UE and do to further their studies to get a degree and stuff like that.
That is very good, but we need more entrepreneurial financial literacy, because that's one of the major things lacking in.
Well, if they're teaching them that basic aspect of being able to save to buy a vehicle, or being able to save to further their education in UE, then I think that but anyway, let me allow Ethan to answer that, because I think that is going to, that if I could save to buy a vehicle, it is the principle of learning the art of saving right? I think that once I could save to buy a vehicle, I could save to start a business. Once I could save to get my degree, then I should be able to save to do real thing.
So to answer your question, Paula.
Yes, sir.
I would say that they do teach us about opening different business, but it's not that it's something that everyone wants to do, as much as I understand what you're saying. But due to the financial part of it, where we learn money management, they teaches us a different and a broader spectrum of, okay, for those that may be interested in being an entrepreneur, where they will have a business, they can start by doing this, they can start by doing that. But as I rightfully said earlier on, most thing as a young man at the age that you are when you're in the Milat program, the first thing you may be thinking of is, okay, when I save this money, I'm going to get myself a vehicle and further studies. So I understand what you're saying, and the program do teaches us that, as well as computer literacy that helps us learn more about how to start a business, even create websites for our businesses.
All right,
very good.
But
Very good.
before you leave, caller.
Fair point.
But
Yes,
before you leave, caller, I would have. There was a young man who would have called in to endorse everything that Ethan said, but he also said that he has his own business, and he also went on to say that some of the facilitators in the program we consider to be fathers, they are the ones that would have motivated him and encouraged him in how to start his business.
Excellent. So we got a live testimony. I love that.
All right.
Even if before you go call, I'm to give you a second live testimony. There is a cadet by the name Akil Timothy. He would have been before my time, where he owned his own rental car business. I believe most people would have seen his faces going around social media, as he would have done an interview just like myself to speak on his success as one, as you would have said, an entrepreneur that would have left the program and would have started a business because of the program.
All right, that's what we're talking about. I saw someone was trying to call in again, so we're going to take Ethan. It was there until about 10:30, please.
That's no problem at all.
All right, so I'll take calls until 10:30. Hello, good evening. All right, call up. All right, I missed that call. All right, so we're taking calls until 10:30. So if you're not joining us, I have on the program this evening a young man who who would have been a part of the Milat program, and he is giving us. He has been sharing with us his experience since about 9 o'clock. He started with us about about sharing with us his experience in being a part of the Milat program and the success of the program, and persons are calling and asking him questions or endorsing what he has been saying. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening, Pastor.
Hi, good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
So the young one that you interviewed there. Is CL, that's the rank you left in?
You want to Ethan, he wants to know what rank you left in.
I would have left the Milat program with the last rank, which would have been the cohort leader.
Cohort leader. Okay, Ethan, Mr. Grant. Pastor, I need to say, I want to endorse everything that this young man said about the Milat program. Why I can endorse it, Pastor, because I work there.
Oh, you work there?
So I would have seen that young man when he passed out in his graduation ceremony. And yes, I endorse everything that he said about the program. This program, started since 2007.
Okay.
And for me to see this program come to what it's come to as of the last day of June, it really saddened me. And I speak for all the alumni for this program, because this program has an alumni for the cadets and so on. It's really, really sad, the kind of work that was going into this program, to see it come to what it is now. The budget for this program is around 15 million per year. saw on social media sometime today, so a guy was saying about that, cost about $130,000 per cadet, which is absolutely erroneous. I mean, these guys get a stipend of about $40 per day. That was $15,000 a year. I mean, really, come on. People are doing all kinds of foolishness on social media and trying to have this degrading the status of the program. I want to share something with the listening public at Trinidad and Tobago. This program has done tremendous things for young men between the ages of 16 and 20 since 2007. I mean, the dedication of civil members, former members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, the teaching staff, the cadets themselves, the alumni that they run their own alumni. That is to tell you how talented these young men are. And this program should continue. There are no temporary stoppage to this program. And by the way, this has nothing to do with crime. It has all to do with youth development. And I remember Foster Cummins did a tremendous job. Yeah? This program had its own agricultural program. They were going to do farming. And listen, they won't get things these guys, these cadets get exposed to when they're in that program. The same thing the military does. They expose them to all of that. The only thing that they don't carry is weapons. Mm-hmm. I remember when Mr. Stuart Young was the Minister of National Security. In one of the graduation parades he had in Tetra Barracks. He himself said that this program should be a stepping stone for young people going into the military. He said with his own mouth on a graduation parade in Tetra. Right in that Milat program should be people to call a military academy for young men in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago to join the military or any branch of the armed services in Trinidad and Tobago. That's the kind of training and exposure these guys get in this program. There are facilitators coming from all over Trinidad and Tobago. That financial literacy they talked about, the team from Central Bank has come and lectured to these boys. The actual team and unit comes up the road. You know what I'm telling you, Pastor Google?
Yeah.
So the kind of exposure these young men get during this program, it's sad. This is what it has come to. The money that they take to spend on high commissions abroad, 15 million US, I could run that program for the next 20 years.
Wow.
Just one residence. Because the actual money that they spend paying this program is went down to 9 million at one time. Then COVID hit. But it's usually hovering around 15 million per year to run this program at the end of the financial year. You know what I'm telling you? 15 million TT dollars. Not US, TT dollars to run this program. You telling me that this government can afford that? Any government that is running in public training, you have to be joking. The kind of money we spend on foolishness in this country. This program should be upheld. And I'll give you all some insight as well. There was a subject matter exchange that came into this program from United States. I'm talking about at the rank of colonel and so on, came to this same Milat program to see what we were doing down here for a similar program they were running in the States. You know how much people was on the program in the States? 9 people. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they came all the way to Trinidad and Tobago to see what we were doing in that Milat program. And every year we have cohorts of 100 and something people training in Milat. We had 9 people in there. They came quite in Trinidad and Tobago. Saturday conference room to find out what we were doing here. You know what I'm telling you, Pastor Google?
Yeah.
That's how big this program is. It's one of 2 of its kind in the world, Pastor Google. There's another one, I think, in Africa. But nothing like the one in Trinidad and Tobago. Unique. I'm talking about the entire world, where cadets actually get a stipend to be in a program like this. Yes.
All right.
This sweet little TNT here
Yeah, caller.
So
Thank you.
when these ministers stand up in parliament and talking all that foolishness, they need to do all the research. UNC was the one who assented this program to the highest allocation from the budget. They wouldn't do their homework. If you just look back a little bit, they would know that. So I think I went 20 points from them. Then was the one that carried the 15 million.
All right.
I'm talking all this foolishness in parliament now. I thank one of them, but listen, you don't have a clue. The Minister of Homeland Security and the next one, Minister of State, you don't have a clue about the value of this program. You don't.
All right. Thank you very much, caller.
All right.
Thank you very, very
Most
much.
welcome.
All right, man. So we're taking, oh boy. Ethan, I know I passed the time. I told you 10:30, but I saw some people were trying to get in. So let's just get those 2 callers in, and then I will let you go. All right. So to the persons who are calling in just now, you can call now 464-7003, 464-7003. You can call in now and ask whatever question, or you can call in and make your point. All right. As I said earlier on, please, let's encourage the young people. All right, let's encourage the young people. So we're taking your calls on 464-7003, 464-7003. Is there any voice notes? Let me see if I have any voice notes. Sometimes people send voice notes, Ethan. Let me just make sure. Okay, all right, okay. Yes, I have a voice note, Ethan. Let's take this voice note.
What's up? Good night. Listen to your program again there. I would just say this, right? Yours truly, I was a Milat instructor, one of the initial Milat instructors from 2007. 2007, and I worked there until 2012, right? And when I hear that the program is being postponed or cancelled for the time being, as the case may be, it really doesn't come as no surprise, because I could tell you, even when I was there since in 2007, Alan Ram, the one who was the Attorney General at the time, expressed sentiments of this program being a waste of time, right? So I just thought I might just share that. So this happening now really and truly is of no surprise to me, none whatsoever. And they are only trying to hoodwink the population by giving the impression that it's going to open back soon. It was never on their top priority list of things that they want to have done. It was always earmarked under this particular administration when they were in governance from 2010 to 2015 to have the program wiped out.
All right. So that's a voice note. Let me see if I have any more voice notes. Or anybody else want to call in. 464-7003. I see I have a missed call here. Oh, I have a missed call from somebody from foreign. What time did they call? They just call. I didn't even see that call. I wonder. All right. So, yeah. People are very disappointed in the closure of this program. Very, very disappointed. And there's some people who don't believe that it's going to come back. Eh? Hi, good evening.
Pastor Google?
Hi, where are you calling me from?
Oh, I'm calling from Trinidad. I'm in Trinidad.
Okay, but yeah, I see a foreign number though.
Yeah, this is big sister here. Liberia sister.
Okay, you in Trinidad?
Yes, I left a message for you today, trying to get in contact with you.
Okay. All right. So you're listening to the program?
Oh, yes, I am. But Pastor Google?
Yes.
I don't know why these people don't like to demonstrate. Why Trinidadians don't like a thing
because we have laws against us demonstrating right now.
Pastor Google, they could go around the Milat place down, so only not by the Red House, only not by Kamla place, or go by the Milat place and demonstrate. You understand?
We had to get permission.
Today I had to ask, I had to ask Laban people why all you have people let you talking about all you like that. When I see some big houses in Labanty, I said, but why all you have the country putting all you down like that? I don't understand it. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm glad for the program. I'm glad for the young man. Let him do much better.
Yes.
You know? And I will call me during the daytime. So I will have to leave something with you for the book.
Okay. All right. So I will call you.
All right.
All right then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, boy. So, let me thank you very much, Ethan, for taking the opportunity to be on the program this evening. All right. I really want to thank you very, very much. It's my pleasure to have you on. I hope that I could have you on again.
You can. The pleasure is mine at any point in time. To not, even if it's to speak on a different topic.
Hey! What you saying?
As the caller would have said, I would partner with you to make every effort to make sure that youths get that, you know. So at any point in time, just let me know.
Because there is a group that we have started called Critical Thinkers. It's a bunch of young people. I will talk to you more about it. A senior Sunday, please go on.
Yes, you will.
All right. So once I see you Sunday, please God, then I will I'll give you more information about it.
No problem at all.
All right, Ethan. So again, thank you very much for being on Constructive Talk with me this evening, and we will talk.
It was nice.
We will talk further on other issues in Trinidad and Tobago that the young people are facing.
No problem at all. The pleasure was mine.
All right, man. God bless.
Same to you.
All right. All right, Trinidad and Tobago. So you just heard from Mr. Ethan Grant, and it's always a pleasure having young people on, boy, sharing their views and on how they think and what they feel about what's going on. All right. So there are other issues that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago that I wanted to touch on, and one of the issues is, you all heard what's happening with Nestles? I wonder if anybody heard what's happening with Nestles. So Nestles is looking to pack up shop. I wonder if I have it here. Let's see if I have it here. Nestles, yeah. So take a listen to this Trinidad and Tobago.
After more than a century in Trinidad and Tobago, Nestle says it is reviewing its local operations and is considering selling part of its business.
But the company insists no final decision has been made. The announcement came during a meeting with workers today. Nestle executives met with employees at the company's Churchill Roosevelt Highway facility this afternoon to outline plans for a strategic review of its local operations. The meeting was led by head of Central America Pablo Vijes, who traveled from Panama. Over 200 workers were told the company is exploring options for its dairy and juice business, including the potential sale of that operation and its warehouse. No timeline was given for any possible transaction. Employees who are represented by the OWTU questioned management during the meeting on what this means for them. And responding to our question, Nestle's head of communications, C.T. Jones-Gordon, said the review forms part of the company's new global strategy.
The company stressed that no final decisions have been made and that the review remains in its early exploratory stages.
Papa. Okay, so we're keeping our eyes on Nestles and see what's going to happen there. Keep our eyes on Nestles and see what's going to happen there. Papa. Interesting, eh? Interesting. Interesting. Papa. Before I play this, I want to play this video. So, there's the rumor that going around on social media about Palisade House and what's going on with Palisade House and Palisade House and Palisade House and Palisade House. Take a listen to this.
The People's National Movement says it has no fear of any investigation into the financing of the reconstruction of Palisade House, as it dismissed online speculation as political intimidation by the government. At a news briefing today, Opposition Senator Dr. Amy Brown said neither he nor the party would be intimidated by unconfirmed reports circulating on social media alleging that the police is investigating how the party financed its headquarters. No such investigation has been confirmed by the TTPS. Dr. Brown dismissed what he called online speculation as political intimidation by the government.
That's the government's modus operandi, to use the media and yet their social media statements to try to intimidate those that they feel are their enemies. So until any investigation unfolds or something becomes concrete, there's no fear coming and no reaction that they may wish to their tactics of intimidation.
The comments come amid renewed controversy over Palisade House after Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar alleged in Parliament that it was linked to drug money and other criminality.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley rejected the claims, challenging her to produce evidence. Dr. Rowley maintained the party's headquarters was funded through member contributions, private donations, and authorized fundraising, including 5% of his own salary. Well, still to come in the news.
Papa. That's all I see tonight. Papa. Look ting. Papa. Alright, so this other story I want to play. I want to play this story and then I'll share my views after. Some of my views mightn't be too nice, but I want to let her listen to this.
Here's where all the plumbing connected for the that is the sewer that run in there. That is sewage here. That is sewage running. I am 71. And I live in here long time. And I tried to move here so long. It seemed to make me write many letters when nobody never even wrote. In the past, we here now, and we're going to fix it.
2 nights ago, residents invited CNC3 News inside a housing development they said the country had forgotten. They showed us collapsed roofs, abandoned apartments, and buildings scarred by years of neglect.
They leave us like stray dogs, who eat, who fight, who die how it is.
Less than 48 hours later, those voices reached the government. Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Philip Edward Alexander, walked those same corridors. And this time, residents were able to tell him directly what they have been experiencing for years.
As you realize, you're getting the musty smell like from the mold. I have no lights, I have the sockets. But when they put the lights, water drips, so you can see all the water stealing from the ground. You want the wall is peeling.
Accompanied by engineers and Housing Development Corporation officials, Alexander admitted the conditions are unacceptable and ordered an immediate structural assessment to determine whether the buildings can be repaired or demolished. He said many residents may need temporary relocation in the interim, adding that assistance would extend even to occupants without formal tenancy agreements.
We have to take care of them too. I mean, all citizens have to be taken care of. The Prime Minister told us leave nobody behind. So everybody's situation, there are some people who are in desperate need, and we have to find a way to get them into the situation as well. No, we're not supporting squatting, but this is not squatting. This is hanging on. This is shelter. Here now, and something is going to come out of this. No stress.
Your name is?
Philip Alexander.
Okay.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes?
If it's one thing the last few days have proven to me, is that the growing issue of TNT's gang culture has no quick fix. Now, I just walked through one of many holes in the walls, which residents described as tunnels previously used by gang members. Now, yes, they've complained about issues such as neglect, limited access to opportunities, and their overall poor living conditions. But one thing that has struck me is that even with all of these concerns, they are still holding on to one small iota of hope.
This side is where it had this floor here is where it had the fire in 2000. As you can see, all here, man. All here, man. About 5%. Yeah. I don't throw my hopes up too high because we've been here already. Yeah, we've been here already. So we're hoping we could see further steps because I just asked him and they said we could at least get them to cut the yard. So if we see that happening within the next couple of days or weeks or so ever, we could say, well, yeah, at least remember something is being done. If not, we know, well, we just as the grass in the yard here, nobody care about it.
But residents insist housing is only part of a much larger problem. They see unemployment, abandoned recreation spaces, inconsistent social programs, and gang violence remain unresolved. CNC3 News has therefore sought responses from Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander, Social Development Minister Vandana Mohit, Port of Spain South MP Keith Scotland, and Laventil West MP Kareem Marcel. Those responses did not come before news time, but for the residents, the memories remain.
Gang life is publicized in such a glamorous way because what people see is they see the cars, they see the money, they see the gold, they see the fast life, and it looks good, it looks attractive. But what they don't see is what we see. The bullet holes, the sleepless nights, the missing parents.
And you put your bed on the ground.
Yeah, sleeping on the ground. At the beginning of the gang war, we had to dismantle the bed and sleep on the ground. If nightfall come and you're outside, you have to stay outside, you can't come home. And we lived through that gang war for like 5-6 years.
Yeah. For 4 nights, Laventil residents have spoken about violence, neglect, broken promises. But they have also spoken about something harder to measure: hope. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
All right, so let me start off by saying, I've recognized that in this country, and especially with the media, there's some people who have their agendas. They have their agenda. And who pays the piper, plays the tune. Why I say that? Let me tell you this. You all remember a young lady or a 12-year-old or 11-year-old young lady by the name of Tessia Henry? Any of you remember Tessia Henry? Tessia Henry was a young lady who was murdered right up in them hills, and her body was buried under a house. I want to take my time and I don't want to be too emotional. Tessia Henry saw something that she wasn't supposed to see and was murdered, buried below a house. I was working on 91.9 FM when we heard the news that Tessia was missing. That was in 2028. Thank you. Thank you. I was working on 91.9 when we heard Aisha Wells, Sean Felix, Juliet Davy, Bruce Wayne. When we heard about it, we decided to go up in the hills and support the family, the mother of Tessia, Henry. When we went up on the hill, there was a guy who used to be with a police lady, a big guy. He used to wear glasses. I can't remember his name right now. Please forgive me. But he used to walk with a stick. And he was the one that would have like mediation between the gangs. And he was from San Fernando. But he spent most of his life in the hills in in Laventille, trying to be a mediator. And we met up with them. And they had a walk, a candlelight vigil walk. Philip Alexander and them with candlelight vigil just come. They just come with a candlelight vigil talk. And we had a candlelight vigil walk. And we walk up those hills. In them, by those same buildings that was abandoned. Men were watching at us from on top of the roof of the hill on those buildings. And what I saw there, I would not tell you. But I saw what I saw. And if I was so brave enough, I could call my neighbor who works HGC, who would tell you that these people want to talk about abandon. HGC workers can't even go up there without police. And if I show you the videos that I saw today with Philip Alexander with a whole set of police walking up there. If you're so big and you're so bad, why don't you walk up there without police? There was a fire. Anyway. So we went up there with Tessia to look for Tessia, to plead for whoever was holding Tessia to let her go. And we went up there night after night. So they don't tell me I was up there. There is Polo now going up there. There is Polo now don't want to show she face and get some kind of coverage. But we were up there long before that. And we were looking for Tessia. Where was Darius Polo then? And we looked and we looked and we looked. We couldn't find her. Until one day a stench started to come from the bottom of her house. Here now, I've been real with all you. I couldn't even go to the child's funeral. First I was so upset and I was so sick. But the games people play, you know, let me tell you something, eh? So Darius Polo did her thing. Philip Alexander saw it and decided to go up on the hills to give the people hope. Games. I hope the people he's sending to cut the grass, they have police with them. we accept so much games in this place that the reality of it is that the UNC know. All you have to do is go up there, show your face, make them feel important, and we go hush them up. Or we go get a vote. That's what it is, you know. That's what it is. Go up there, play games, laugh in the face. Say, yeah, I go fix that, man. Yeah. You go get some, yeah, we go fix that. Yeah, we will put this there. Yeah, we will put that in place for you, man. Yeah, you don't worry about that. We know what we're doing. And people will take that, accept that, run with that. And at the end of the day, what will happen? You don't know what will happen? Nothing. Nothing will happen. If you don't know. Nothing will come out of that. So you all heard the story. What's all your thoughts? You heard the story with Nestles. You heard the story with Balzi House. And now you heard the story with St. Barb's Road. What's all your thoughts? I would like to find the video to show you how much police Philip Alexander had to go up there with. Yeah. To have a video with Philip Alexander. If you see police, they had to go up there with. But they won't show you that. There is one to show you that. You know, she will show you. The minister come after I do my story. I did my story and the minister came immediately. I hope the minister ain't paid to do that story. That's what I want to see. I would like to show that video with all of them with police. They ain't showing that video at all. And I won't be surprised if they delete that video too. I will not be surprised if that video is deleted. You know? But again, we love the games. Some of us appreciate and love the games that they play. Right? We love it. Like cook food. So what's all of you? 4647, you feel that? Yes, hey, look, somebody telling me, yeah. What is saying? Yes, Twiggy was vocal about the... Okay. But Twiggy was there. Twiggy was a part of that whole thing with Tessia. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Pastor Google, good night.
Hi.
The buildings where you now show, right, that is in Canada. And it's not supposed to have nobody living there. HEC move out majority of the people and put them up in Beverly Hills and also send some down in Shogona. That is abandoned buildings. What these people do in abandoned buildings. And furthermore, the gangsters control them buildings. So what Philip talking about? What Philip Elizabeth talking about? Them squatting. Who you trying to fool?
Yeah, but why Davis Polo don't say that?
She lying because she fully well know that agency. If you go, Pastor Google, if you say you have people in agency, ask them and they go tell that my aunt is to live there and they move them and send them up to Beverly Hills. That is Canada. And in Lower Long is called John. And I'm telling you, they move out all the people from living there. There's abandoned building. So whoever there, or it's quoting. They're not supposed to be there. What agency needs to come and do now is break it down, but they can't get to come in and break it down because the gangs is control it. As lookout points. So how they get to break it down? So them who put out that story, putting out a false narrative, because that is not the truth.
They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. I am really disappointed in Davis Polo. But again, what we gonna say? Who are the most corn feed, the most foul?
Yes, Pastor. I would love to know listening.
Thank you very much. Taking your calls 464-7003, 464-7003. I'm taking your calls. If you want to do something, Philip Alexander, it are people who live in Olera Heights. It are some people living in Olera Heights, Philip Alexander. Why don't go in Olera Heights and see about the problems that people going through in Olera Heights? Yeah, there's a place in San Fernando called Olera Heights.
Good evening again, Pastor.
Good evening.
I do not know what this man who became by you seen this story name, I'll forget name. He has been on the station with them for them. Welsh. You seen Welsh, so clearly you seen this is stage. No one have been living there. I cannot remember anybody living there. That building abandoned long time. Anybody living there had to be vacant. No, nobody lived there. So for that man to go up there and try a thing, I don't know what he trying. Because no one lives there. Nobody lives there. And then people who say they live in there, they have to be crazy because AGC abandoned that is long time. You see that place, they have window and door? Who live in there? I try to understand what is man who hopes to gain by staging these kind of things. I am from Port of Spain. I am from Port of Spain, South also. I know the area very well. No one lives there. No one has since our war. Let's see. I don't like. Since about 2008 or around it, people don't live there. Anybody said that would be some kind of flagrant or some kind of illegal activity. But family don't function inside there or live there. So Philip Alexander, they come now here and Welsh. They come now and Florence and try to make it look like the people living there. No one lives there. You see that place had a roof.
Let me take this foreign caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Pastor Google. Pastor Google.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? I always watch your program. My name is Marie.
Hi, thank you very much, Marie. Where are you calling me from?
I'm calling you from Canada.
Canada. Thank you very much for watching and
calling.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. I'm so upset in a sense like I live in Trinidad, but right I'm on vacation. So, but I still watch your program no matter where I am.
Thank you.
So what I'm thinking is that everything, any programs that will help the young black men of Trinidad and Tobago, this government is destroying. She's destroying. Anything to help the young black men, destroying.
Yep.
So that's all I have to say,
Thank you very much for your call, and I look forward to your support to our back to school drive.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Same to you.
Good night, I should say.
Same to you.
Thank you.
All right. So continue to take your calls 464-7003, 464-7003. All right. Let's hear your views. What are your thoughts? Must have people who living up in there could call the program, man. Nobody from up there calling the program? Huh? I could do I could do a program up there too, you know. It's a lies, boy, and deception. Lies and deception. Take it, boy. Yeah. Lies and deception. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, sir. I would like to say this evening again, that the games these people and them playing, and they playing these dirty games and trying to spin it around and making we look like we the guilty ones. The dirty games these people are playing. And Pastor Google, I want to say something, That whole thing up in that place, Canada, is a staged event. No, but those buildings have been abandoned long time because of the gang warfare, the gang culture. You're going to set a dirty old building and bring people like Twiggy and them with you and talking stupid, but we go fix this and we go fix that. That is not a fix. What is it? The money is spending to fix that? Give it to Milat. And them so you could continue the good program as the younger fellow earlier on was talking about, Pastor Google. Do you agree with me?
Of course.
Yeah? Also, I would like to say, today I'm very hurt to see people like Twiggy and them, to see certain Afro-Trinidadians who all of just get a work in Wasta and get work so all of them, a few of us get a little thing, the ones who they feel have big mouth and really and look quarrel and make noise and make them look bad, or they give them a few little chocolates, a few little goodies, and they mouthful and they just bashing. They go on against, they stand up with the UN and bashing the PNM. So all they don't care about the hundreds of thousands or the thousands of African people who suffered. All they get for themselves and to hell was with everybody. Tiggy and all that dies for all this, so Muhammad dies for all this, so David. Right? I am totally upset. So when I hear him, Philip, talking about 1% and 1% and 1%, let me tell all this something, Philip. And let me tell Trinidad and Tobago something. Let me tell all this something. It's not the 1% that has cost me every minute and make all the nasty, dirty racial remarks against African people. In 2020, when PNM won the election, when you look at social media throughout this whole country, it was the 1% doing with that. Right? I would like to tell all of that it's not the 1%. And let me tell you what the 1% is do, Philip and David and all this, so to hear all this. So let me tell you what the 1% is do. I'm not saying that I know everything or if they're involved in co-op activities or whatever, but let me tell you what the 1% that do. The 1% create employment for many Afro-Trinidadian families in the East-West corridor. I know personally people who were prestige holdings. While they're working, they went to school and study and become nurses and lawyers and so on. The 1% create employment. The 1% will be on social media cussing and disrespecting African people in every way. That is what the 1% is all about. So Pastor Google, I'll look on and listen. Good show as usual. I'll give somebody else a chance and I'll call back. Thanks again, my brother.
You're welcome.
Somebody my friends. I will read so you know it? Yes. We have currents are black mold, and when rain falls, water something like something sure it's going to enter.
So I want to say this, right? Philip, I hope you visit Olea Heights. Philip, who will fix it. I hope you visit Olea Heights. I hope you visit Olera Heights. Philip Edward Alexander. Let me look to get out of here. Let me look to come off this program before I start to get vexed and say the wrong thing. Let me come off this program because I go get vexed and I go say the wrong thing. Have a good evening, everybody. Have a good evening. Alright, talk to you guys. Monday, please, God. Have a blessed one.
The information provided by the speakers and/or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
The Constructive Talk team with Pastor Google are asking for your support in their back-to-school drive. Let's help the less fortunate children get ready for the new school term. Donations of notebooks, copybooks, stationeries, and book bags would be greatly appreciated. Show your love, show your generosity by contacting 464-703 and we will organize collection of your donations. Thank you from the Constructive Talk team. And remember to be kind, be generous, and be loved.
Yak and Friends proudly presents Uhuru 8. Join us on Saturday, July 25th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the City Hall Auditorium, Harris Promenade in San Fernando. This year's celebration is held in honor of Mr. Anthony Kamiziong as we continue strengthening our African ties through culture, unity, and heritage. Experience an unforgettable evening of African dance, powerful drumming, cultural expression, and great food. Early bird tickets are $350 at MITS 2 and $200 at MITS 1. Come dressed in your finest African attire for a chance to win Best Dressed Male and Female. Celebrate African culture. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate Uhuru 8. For tickets, contact 684-1792 or ticket outlet at Something Special with Finishing Touch at Ritz Plaza, number 25, St. James Street in San Fernando.
Coming soon to Constructive Talk Network, Critical Thinkers. It's a youth show with a youth perspective on current affairs and issues in Trinidad and Tobago. Critical Thinkers, youth perspective on Constructive Talk.